I just reached a really big milestone in Upland. My account reached 30 million UPX of net worth. It's taken me almost 3 years to get here, and after posting this tweet to Twitter, some people reached out to me publicly and privately to ask me more questions about how I got here. In this video, I'm going to explain a little bit more about my journey to 30 million UPX net worth and what this metric really means.
I'm YK2012, founder of the Upland Guide. I'm here to unlock the secrets of the Upland Metaverse. On this channel, you can find everything you need to build your Upland empire. Expert tutorials, winning strategies, pro tips and tricks, and a lot more. Hit that subscribe button and ring that notification bell to stay ahead of the game. Remember, knowledge is power, and in the Upland Metaverse, that knowledge is truly your most valuable asset.
So the first thing that I want to say about the net worth metric is that it means absolutely nothing. It really is a bullshit metric. It doesn't give an indication of how much your assets are worth, and it also doesn't give an indication of everything that you own in the Upland metaverse. It's simply a number that represents the amount of UPX that has been spent on properties. If I had told you that I had spent $30,000 on Upland, then you wouldn't be that impressed that my net worth stands at 30 million UPX. So when you're browsing around Upland and you see these players like myself who have very large net worths, you have to ask yourself, where exactly did it come from? Did these players start playing for free and they grew their net worth to where it was without putting in any money? Or did they invest a substantial amount of money into this game, which would clearly boost their UPX net worth? Now, as for me, no, I didn't put in $30,000 into Upland, but I also didn't start for free. When I started playing Upland in April of 2021, I entered after the city release of Brooklyn, which was the fourth city to enter Upland. I didn't have a clue what I was doing, and it took me some time before I found the Discord community. There are still lots of people that are super helpful in the Discord community, so if you aren't part of it, make sure to join. If I remember correctly, I spent about $20 on UPX in order to buy some properties, and that got me immediately to Uplander status. I didn't know anything about the FSA properties, and I didn't know about the bonus you can receive as part of the referral program. So if you're brand new to Upland, check out the link in the description below to learn about the bonuses that you can get when signing up with my referral code in Upland. I was able to mint some exclusive collection properties and sell them for over 20 times what I had paid for them in UPX. And that really got me more interested in learning more about Upland. Now, also back in April of 2021, players were not able to sell their properties for US dollars. They had yet to even start the beta testing for that feature. As Upland continued to open new cities, I was able to mint some new properties, flip them for more money, and make a lot of mistakes along the way. As Upland continued to open up new cities, because after all, back then there was really not much to do in Upland except mint new properties and treasure hunt. And treasure hunting isn't what it is today, because back then, Spark didn't even exist. There were no buildings, there were no structures, there were no partnerships with things like FIFA, the NFL Players Association, and others. Today in Upland, there's so much more to do, and there are things that don't actively contribute to growing your net worth. For example, if you purchase a car or if you buy a structure ornament, your net worth does not grow. Not only does your net worth not grow, but it actually shrinks. So just based on the fact that today there are other things that you can purchase outside of properties means that growing your net worth is going to be more difficult if you're focusing on all of the different things that Upland has to offer. Also, if you sell a property for US dollars, then your net worth is also going to decrease. Now, it took me a while to actually figure out how to play Upland. I'm sure you experienced this in your first or second city release where you may not have known exactly what was going on. You may have got confused, got stuck, or who knows what. This is what I was experiencing for a number of city releases until I was able to figure out what was going on. Since 2021, Upland has evolved immensely. There have been many changes, but those changes have been evolutions. The foundation of Upland has remained the same, but they continue to add more features and create new partnerships and opportunities for people to play, earn, and connect in the metaverse. Now, my goal in Upland has not always been to just focus on growing my net worth. Yes, there is the period at the beginning where you are looking to grow, but for me, it wasn't growth at all costs. I was able to mint some fairly interesting and valuable properties that I opt to hold on to and not sell. I would have been able to sell that and grow my net worth very quickly, but I believe that some of these properties that I own hold more value over the long term, and that's why I choose to hold on to them. For example, this property here in Chicago, which I minted for 5,880 UPX, overlooks Wrigley Field, and this is a really special property for anyone who's not only familiar with Chicago, but also familiar with baseball. Clearly, this property is worth more than 5,880 UPX, but that 5,880 UPX is the contribution to my net worth. So I own many properties where the value of that property is much more than the UPX contribution to my net worth. So from some perspective, you could say that maybe my net worth in Upland is much larger than the 30 million UPX. Now, it wasn't just the initial $20 that I had put into Upland when I joined. I have spent money on Spark as well. Some of it was earned, some of it was purchased, some of it was done just by logging in every day. And as you know, the Spark that I purchased does not show up in any way in my net worth. I did make an extremely large purchase in Upland. I had the opportunity to purchase a landmark, and I spent $6,300 on this Ford Piquette plant in Detroit. It's part of the Historic Motor City Ultra Rare Collection, and I also went ahead to purchase 2 other properties in that collection in order to get the boosted earnings. This property alone gives me over 200,000 UPX in property earnings each month, and this makes up nearly 50% of my property earnings each month. Now, when it comes to flipping properties in Upland, there was a time when the demand for properties was so much more than the supply. That is no longer the case. And now there are many properties that won't sell for the price that people paid for them. Having said that, we can see that where players are creating value and building a community, that the prices in those areas are higher than those in other areas. So there is a lot more to it than just minting any random property in the Upland Metaverse. Now, if you're a relatively new player and you're looking at an account like mine, which has a very large net worth, and I do own a lot of properties, a lot of collections, and a lot of other assets in the Upland Metaverse, but I would not suggest trying to emulate what I'm doing. Firstly, the ability to grow as a new player in 2021 is very different than what it is today. And I absolutely contribute a lot of my growth to being an early adopter in the Upland Metaverse. Secondly, the fact that I'm a content creator and someone who helps other players to learn how to play Upland. A lot of people have signed up using my referral code, often providing me with extra UPX bonus as well. I also do paid promotions on my YouTube channel where some players who want to advertise their MetaVenture or a node have paid to sponsor some of my videos. Both of these things help to supplement my UPX earnings and allow me to mint properties that I want without having to sell properties that I find valuable that I want to hold on to for the long term. At the end of the day, everyone has to create their own strategy and based on their goals of what they want to accomplish in the Upland Metaverse. The way that I play Upland is going to be vastly different from the way that you play Upland and every other player in the Upland Metaverse. I think that's one of the great things about Upland, is that everyone has their own way of playing. Everyone can find value in one thing and maybe not the other. Someone might be really good at treasure hunting, and through competitive treasure hunts, you can win some really good UPX prizes. That can help you grow your net worth as well. Whether you're playing Upland in order to enjoy yourself, to earn, or to connect with other people, or any combination of those three, you have to really find the balance and find what works for you. And I go back to the initial point that I made at the beginning of this video, that the UPX net worth really doesn't mean much of anything. From that number, it's really hard to gauge exactly what I've done in the Upland Metaverse.